Well, there are a lot of neat changes happening in Ottawa and more to come. We're going to learn more about Go Ottawa and their mission work. Joining us today, the Executive Director of Go Ottawa, Jacqueline Langhouse. And thanks for coming today.
Thanks for having me.
Okay, first of all, how did this idea get together? How did Go Ottawa get formed?
It started a few years ago it was just a couple people that kind of had this idea that they wanted a little more. And they started to work with the village on what that might look like. And the village actually contracted to work with a urban planning company to create a strategic plan. And then, through that process, we went through kind of a year of activity with that company, going through, what were you hearing, what people were wanting, and they came up with an operations plan and a strategic plan. And from that, they said, if you want this to not be something that sits on a shelf, you should create a nonprofit. So that's where Go Ottawa kind of came about. We said, all right, let's take that plan and let's make it happen.
All right. So what has happened so far? What have you guys been able to accomplish? Because some things already, you guys are moving.
Yeah, so officially the nonprofit started, in September was when I took on the role. So in the last 6 months or so, we've been doing a lot of kind of the fun stuff of setting up a nonprofit, but also we did like a Ottawa light up contest. So for Christmas lights, just an easy way to get people engaged in some of the Christmas festivities happening in the area. And then our kind of big thing that we've been working on is an alley activation project. So it's right in our kind of main part of downtown, across from the courthouse. There is an alley there that a lot of people had kind of seen the potential of what that could be. And so we've done some small little, seasonal activations, but we are in the process of applying for a placemaking grant to turn that into, a space that we can use and inhabit. In December, the DORA legislation passed, so that was big. And so we see that alley as a way to kind of expand where people can use the DORA in downtown Ottawa.
Right, yeah. So are there plans in the future for doing stuff to buildings? I mean, more alleys and roads? I mean, what do you guys fantasize and really want to happen in the future?
Yeah, I think, so our first thing was with the end zone near the Dumont building. So that whole building is getting renovated right now by some really great people on that side of the street. And then we have the alley on the other end, and we have the Rex that's kind of in there too. So those are kind of our 3 public spaces in downtown. So I think if we're doing stuff, we're probably building onto those. Maybe shades at the Rex is one of the things that we've talked about. That's probably a little bit more longer term. But then other things that we were looking at, hopefully we're gonna do some bike audits this summer to kind of see, what is our biking infrastructure like? How safe is it? Where there's potential? And one of the things that's called out in our strategic plan is to do a bike path that goes from the park on one end of Ottawa that goes to the other side where the reservoir is. So we are hopefully, in the next year to 2 to 3 years, we're going to have that as a new bike trail that I think a lot of people are excited about.
Right, yeah. Well, you're a native of Ottawa, and you said you came back and you just were wanting more, and apparently so was the community, right? Because you're getting backing and everyone's getting excited about this.
I think there was just a natural energy that, what we are doing is just harnessing what's already there and amplifying that. So I think there's a lot of people that are excited about what's happening.
Yes, I love the name Go Ottawa. Lots of things happening. Just the tip of the iceberg. We're going to keep following you to find out what's happening in Ottawa. So thanks for coming today and telling us about it. All right, don't go away. We'll take a look at the weather forecast next.